Hello everyone, and welcome to a tutorial to Fractured Space with me, TheDragoclaw. So, first of all, regular viewers, this is going to be a pretty tutorial-ish video, so you might want to skip it. Alternatively, if you want to just watch the game, probably skip ahead like 5 or 10 minutes, as I'm going to go over the stuff in the hangar first, and then move on to the actual game. But yeah, this is going to be a tutorial, but I'm mostly going to focus on how an actual game of Fractured Space goes ahead. There's a lot of videos on the Fractured Space YouTube channel. I don't know if it's linked here in any fashion, but it might be linked somewhere. What happens if I click this? Oh, it's just a rundown. Okay, well, this might actually help you, so don't be afraid to click things like I kind of was. But yeah, a lot of tutorials are out there, a bunch of stuff on the YouTubes and the forums, but a lot of them are mostly, this is a 5-minute video telling you how to play this ship or how to just play the game in general. I kind of just wanted to show you off like what an actual game of Fractured Space is like, and sort of talk about my decision making process and how you can either copy it or not copy it, depending on how well it turns out, as the game progresses. So first of all, I will give a quick overview of the hangar, which you can get to by clicking on the hangar or by hitting play. So if you're new to the game, likely you'll be starting off with these 3 ships. The Pioneer is the USR ship. It is a pretty decent all-round ship. It's got decent damage with its nuke and void charges, and it can also do quite a bit of scouting with the ability to decloak enemies and scout the sector. The Sentinel is the Titan ship. You get given it after you've completed the tutorial, and it's quite a good ship. It's very fast and agile, and it excels at just running around the battlefield harassing enemies. It's got some homing weapons, so if you find yourself struggling to aim properly, which I used to, it's a good starting choice. So I do recommend it if you're having problems aiming, but it is a little bit more advanced to play, I guess, just a tad, because it's not just go into the middle of a fight and pew pew. It's more of stay at the sidelines, watch the fight carefully, fly around, help support your allies and that. So that's the Sentinel. You can see that this is meant to be a support ship by its yellow icon and the wrench. This ship is also meant to be, the Pioneer is meant to be damage orientated, given by the red symbol and the skull. And the last ship, Venturer, is much more defense orientated. It's got the blue markings there and the shield, and it's generally the healer. So it's kind of like the first ship, the first healing ship you get. It's from the Xerac, which is this tier of ships here. This is the USR and this is the Titan. I'm showing these off in my favourites, which you can assign and unassign by hitting the star here, just because it's easier for showing. But the Venturer is a pretty good ship. It's got a heal pulse and a shield drone, so you can like protect your allies and heal them. And it's also got weapons that focus on destroying armour and focusing on one specific point on the enemy. With that said, wait, no, still got a few more things to go over. So with each of these factions, if you click on the tabs, you'll probably only have the first 3, but I've also got the Revenant Reaper and the Colossus. If you click on the tech tree, you can see that each of these factions have their own unique tech tree, and a variety of ships are sorted with them. So I won't be going through any of these. These you can explore at your own pace, and you'll be kind of slow to get them because experience points take a while to get. On average, I would say you probably get around 1,000, give or take, per game. So that can give you a rough estimate of how long you'll take to get up to different spots and different tech trees. But yeah, so whichever faction you decide to play as, you can play as all of them, there's no like restriction or anything, but if you play in the Pioneer more than any other ship, you're only going to get experience for the USR. The credits you get from every match, which are used to actually purchase ships, because once you've got the unlock from the experience, you'll need to either purchase it with credits or platinum. Credits you get from every game, and they can be spent on getting ships and getting crew members, I think, and buying loadouts for your ships. Platinum is a premium currency, so you can either pay money for it, well actually I think that's the only way. You might have got some if you started with a special early access pass or something. You might also get some if you complete the tutorial, unless they change that. And that basically allows you to buy skins and these ships if you prefer to use that instead of grinding out the credits. Although given how quickly credits come, I don't think that'll be a problem. So yeah, whichever faction you choose, or whichever ship you start to play as, that will determine which kind of tree you get experience in. So whichever one you feel more comfortable with is probably the tree you'll want to go down anyway. I have, as I mentioned, unlocked the Colossus. I really like the USR, so I'm going to be playing the Pioneer today. So I'll switch to that ship, which I can do either in the tech tree or in the hangar, which I can get back to by clicking there. And I'll show you one last thing. Wait, actually, two last things. This skin, you can choose which skin you like. You'll probably be just stuck with default if you've only recently got the game. However, if you've got one of the early access special passes, you might be getting the G-type. And if you had at least level 5 before the career wipe on the 25th, 26th of January 2016, then you'll get the bronze Pioneer skin, which is what I'm wearing. A lot of ships, not all of them, but most of them now, have some form of loadout. You can generally just come here to check your weapons and check their ranges and fire rates and everything. I very much recommend you do come here, because you can have a look at the abilities of each of your weapons and, as I said, see their ranges, which will be very useful in combat. Alternatively, some have special variants which you can purchase with experience and credits, and you can get special variants on your weapons. Like I could get light void charges, which fire more void charges per volley, or I could get heavy void charges, which are a heavier impact and fewer charges. Each of these, you need to unlock the first one before I can get to heavy, for example. So you do need to unlock them in a line, as with the tech tree. So that's one thing to bear in mind. And another thing is the crew. A lot of people probably don't modify the crew when they first start up, and that's probably a good idea. Just get into the game and play with it as you like. But when you start getting to more advanced gameplay, you might want to consider changing your crew, because your crew can have drastic effects on your ship's ability to perform. So, for example, I've got this crew. You can create as many crews as you like, I believe. Yeah, I generally have two. I generally have three. I only have two at the moment because I haven't bothered to create the third one. But I like to have one for tanking ships and one for non-tanking ships and one for DPS ships. These loadouts, you can have different officers. Like I can click here and I can replace Sterling with any of these captains, or I could replace them with a couple of captains I can buy. Or I could just... Really, can I not click there? Huh, I thought I could click on these. Never mind. But yeah, if we go back to the hangar, crew... Yeah, you can replace any of these as you like. And I very much recommend you do so when you first got used to the game. So let's go back to the hangar, and you can see that the crew is here on the side. You can choose which one you would prefer to use. I am gonna stick with a tank because the Pioneer is a little bit more tanky than it is DPS-y, so that's what I'm going to stick with. And I'm going to go ahead and click launch. So the game is in matchmaking mode. You can have up to one of your friends join you in this. You can like invite them here. I'm not online on Steam because I don't want pop-ups, so that's why I'm going on my lonesome. But you can also select between the two different types of game mode, Conquest and Frontline. Frontline, as of now, is not available at the moment because their servers are still being fixed for Frontline or something. But yeah, we're restricted to Conquest mode, which is the base mode, but that's alright. You probably won't be able to play Frontline until you're level 5, I believe, so be sure to... If you don't see it, don't worry, it'll happen eventually. You just need to get used to the game first in Conquest mode. So when a match has finally been found, you'll see this, and yeah, we can get right into it. If you haven't done the Proving Grounds, I very much recommend you do. It's a fantastic introduction to the game, and it helps you get to know the basics, which is very important. as I said at the start, I'm not going to be teaching the basics. This is more of a addition to the... Hi, sorry if that was cut off for a minute. Bandicam did not like me changing screens. But yeah, I'm going to be playing in the Pioneer today. And I'm not going to be going over all the tutorial stuff. I'm going to trust that you've done it. Hey, Stegs. Just saying hello to my, or not my, but a fellow player. So when you're looking at the screen, you've got 60 seconds to choose your ship, and I very much recommend that you take note of who you've got on your side, because you kind of want to make sure you've got a balanced team. Like, we've got a pretty balanced team here: 2 DPS, 1 tank, and 2 support classes. So that's pretty good. But if you don't have a balanced team, I recommend switching or asking someone else to switch. Also, it's always good to be a good sport, so always type "good luck, have fun" in the chat just before the game starts. You can change chats by hitting enter and then control. That toggles between team and all chat. I also recommend waiting for your team to jump before you jump, so you can kind of gauge where you're going to be needed most. It's always good to have an even split between the 2 lanes. You don't want to have several people in alpha and only one person in beta, or no one in beta, because that will cause a problem where the enemy team will just come down and take these forward stations for you, and that would lead to them jumping to your base. So one of the first things you should do is come down here and collect these mining beacons. So these mining beacons are beacons that give resources to your cores, and they'll slowly trickle up. If you can see there in the top left hand corner of the screen, or not top left hand, but in the middle to the left where those blue circles are, you'll see on the left there's a number and a sort of gauge. That's kind of what your experience and thus level are for this game. And as that goes up, you'll gain levels, and you'll want to go back to stations to repair and upgrade to those levels. So this guy is an adventurer that I'm attempting to attack. He is 20k away, so he's not within range, so I'm going to come up closer. I'm going to start charging my nuke. My nuke is a lot longer range. Unfortunately it missed. It's about 24k, so keep an eye on that number. If you can't see it, it's in the, just below that targeting reticule. You can see right where that shielded was. There was his name, and then below it was his distance from me. Also, when you see an enemy, you'll first see their health bar below their name, and then a tiny sliver of a white line. That white line is their energy bar, and that energy bar is used and expended whenever you use an ability or turn on your flak. So I'm pushing up here. We're pushing up pretty far. They don't seem to have many people in this lane. This is kind of what I was talking about. Looks like they're going strong in alpha. Someone's coming to do some defense work here, but I aim to stop them. Yep, I've got to take out that shielding boy. Always try and take out the shielding boy whenever someone deploys it, because that gives them quite a bit of defense. Oh, hi there, guy behind me. I did not see you. Are you an enemy? Oh no, there's a phantom ghost behind me. I'm deploying my protection boy. So apparently there were people in this lane. They were just cloaked. So although initially you won't see very many cloaked enemies, you will see some of the more advanced players playing in ships like the Ghost and other ships that you've never seen before. That's because they have played the game a lot and are able to purchase such ships. I'm struggling to fight this guy because he is playing very well and dodging my weapons and knowing exactly where to fire his. I'm trying my best to give him a challenge. It could go either way at this point. Oh, that was close. Okay, so I'll explain the Ghost in a bit, if I remember. But oh, who's that? Oh, that's the adventurer. So you'll notice, if you hear that sound, that Someone is firing missiles at me. That's what that sound means. You will hear that sound a lot. Do not do what I sometimes do and forget its existence and kind of just keep toggling your point defense on and off, because that can lead to death. So essentially how it works is missiles fired at your ship, they're fired at your ship by your enemies, and they can be shot down. They can be shot down only by your point defense, which you can activate by pressing F or 4. This point defense drains your energy over time, so you don't want to keep it on for too long. Also, you can see on the side there that I've got a choice of upgrades. I'm going to choose defense, because I want a bit more hit points, or a few more hit points, and that's just a general good point. I mean, you can choose whatever one you want, it doesn't really matter. Some ships will benefit more from different upgrades. My ship will probably benefit most from the attacking and the defense buffs. Let's see if I can get the spine there. It might have been a bit too low. Oh no, the explosion gone, that's good. So in case you didn't know, if you're looking at my reticule, on the left there is my health in green, and on the right is my energy. My energy is used whenever I have my point defense on, or whenever I activate an ability. I mean, not all abilities, but some abilities. Missiles and weapons do not cost energy, but if I charge up my nuke, that doesn't cost energy either. Never mind. If I activate my reveal sector, you can see a bunch of energy just drained. And that's what that does. Do you know why I can't see my missiles? I think that's a known issue. But apparently I can't see my missiles, which is a bit strange. Okay, so we've done well there. And you might have noticed, because I certainly didn't, but there was a countdown timer at the top of the screen. That countdown timer was until the gas sector became available. And it's happened without my noticing, but we've just taken gas. So gas is really important because it allows our team to make use of certain buffs. We get weapons damage increase, we get damage resistance increase, we get the ability to take over stations faster, and overall it's probably the best, most useful buff in the game, and you should definitely all try and get in there as soon as you can. I mean, well, I suppose not as soon as you can. You can see at the top of the screen the countdown timer has started ticking. It counts down from 6 minutes, and that happens from the start of the game until gas is captured. And once gas is activated, you all have to jump in there and try and take it. First team to take it gets it, and then the countdown timer starts again. Deploy my detection buoy. I know there's an assassin around here somewhere, but I don't know where. Is that him up there? Yes, it is. Alright. Oh, he has virtually no hit points. I'm guessing he lost a fight. I wonder if I could hit him through that wall. Is he close enough to it? No, never mind. Okay, so he's just cloaked, so I'm going to need to be on my guard. It's a shame I used my detection buoy there, because I could really use it right about now. He's going to be pretty close to me, so I think I'm just going to be firing my void charges off randomly. Let's try and bring him out. Oops, I'm pressing the wrong buttons. So learning how to fly your ship is a very important aspect of the game. At this point I'm just kind of firing off blankly. I have no idea. Usually assassins like to be above you. I'm going to throw my boy down. Okay, he's nowhere near. He could be anywhere beyond this detection buoy though, so I'm going to have to be careful. Okay, so it looks like Alpha's taking a bit of a punishment, so we're going to go ahead and take Beta here. So taking this station will allow us to jump into their base. And as you can see, this Reaper is firing at the station. While you don't need to do that, there is a beacon below. I'll just put my stuff into attack now. There is a hostile sensor below it, which you can destroy to inhibit the enemy's ability to see you. So I'm going to go ahead and start my jump clock and start going to their base. It's a little bit early, so I don't expect to take it yet, but I can at least do some damage, especially to the turret generators here. So when you take down turret generators, you take up the turrets offline. Yeah, you can take the turrets offline and you can start capturing their base a bit easier. Okay, we've got Stegs here in the Sentinel. He's playing the mobility role, and he can actually boost his ally speed, which is very useful.
The enemy has secured an area.
Okay, let's keep taking these out, go around. You'll notice the turrets we've destroyed have stopped firing at us, and we're slowly taking the base. In the top right hand corner of the middle thing at the top there, you can see we're taking their base. That was a terrible description, I'm sorry. But hopefully you can see the red circle being filled. And that's because we're in their base unchallenged. And yeah. We are... Oh, I just got hit by a nuke. And we are slowly taking it. If they don't get inside this capture circle, we're going to take their base. You'll also notice whenever I activate my point defense, okay, they've got inside the base and are slowly beginning to take it. So I'm going to try and turn and fight this guy. I don't think it's going to be that good. Oh, Stegs is here to help me. Can he do it? Can he save me? Probably not. Well, I'm going to try and explode inconveniently. Okay, so we did a lot of damage there. Switch to Stegs, see if he can make a heroic escape. Nope, no he cannot. So you see we got 90% of our base there. If we got that to 100% we would have won. But we didn't, so we've got to try and do it again. You'll also notice that Gamma is coming up quickly. We'll need to head into Gamma as soon as we spawn, basically. Gamma gets more powerful as it goes on, so this will be gas power 2, so we'll get an even stronger buff. But not only that, you can see in the top of the screen there that we are level 7. If you look at the circle, and the enemy are level 5. So we've done a much better job than them of capturing the mining stations. And we're reaping rewards of that. Is that a friend? That's a friend. Also remember to hit tab every now and then to keep an eye on your team and the enemy team. You can use tab to have a look at what ships your enemy has. Are there any enemies here? There's at least one. There's only one. Alright. So the Pioneer is a really good ship for scouting out. If you're new and not that great at combat, it's a great idea to just play support from afar. You've got quite long range, up to 24k with your nuke, and decent range with like 15k with your not nuke. And you see we've secured the buoy here, or the gas power here, so everyone else who is not, who is not a, on our team, should probably be jumping out right about now. I suppose it's not a bad idea to be fighting us, because if they can kill us, then they've destroyed us with the buff, which is good for them. But generally it's not a good idea to 1v1 someone who has gas power, because their abilities are much faster to cool down. They have much larger firepower and resistance, and yeah, so don't try not to fight someone with a gas power if you can avoid it. It looks like we're all going to Alpha 1 because someone's been trying to be sneaky and go down there and take it. They will regret that very quickly. Remember to hit T every now and then whenever you're looking at an enemy to set your target to them. So if they're not targeted, then it can screw up your weapons targeting, and it will prevent you from firing missiles at them and other targeted abilities. So this guy's just lost his armor on the right side and the bottom side. You can see that when it flares up, either with the fire or with the notification there. You always want to make sure that you are spinning your ship round and not exposing the same side to enemy fire for a very long time. This is because when enemies are firing on your shield, on your hull, you start to take armor damage, and when your armor breaks, as it happens when your ship flares up in flames, and when that notification happens, you take a lot more damage. So make sure that you're always spinning your ship round. Okay, so always remember to say GG. We managed to win that game there, thanks to the help of our people on the other side of the map. I hope this has helped someone. I know I've missed a lot, so I'm probably going to do another one of these videos, if not several more. If you have any tips, feel free to leave them in the comments. If you have any questions, also do the same, and I'll try and get to them. So matchmaking should be in effect now, so the matches should be fairly even, although sometimes, almost like that game, you will be put into a match where you just can't win, or you just steamroll the opponents. Try not to take it too badly. There's a lot of new people in the game. If you're an older veteran, then you should make note of that. Because of the account resets, everyone's at like 0 matchmaking, so for the first few days there's going to be a lot of problems with matchmaking, now I come to think about it. And yeah, so this might not be entirely fair, but still give it a good shot. It's not all about winning, it's about having fun. So I hope that helped, and I will see you in the next episode.